Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk About It. We are ready. Hi, Brittany.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. So we are ready for another topic that we think will be beneficial to everyone out there today. But first and foremost, I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your likes, shares, comments, and your prayers. Please continue to share. Make sure that you subscribe to this page if you're not subscribed, and always subscribe to YouTube as well. And we love it when you comment, so put those comments in the comment section. Hi, Dan. Thank you for tuning in. Well, today our topic is going to be M.O.N.E.Y. And I guess you say, well, I know what that spells. I know what that is. That's money. But again, that's another one of our acronyms. Many overspend and need what experts yield. So people sometimes overspend because they don't know how to not overspend. They're used to doing things one way, or they get excited about something, or they get a new credit card, or their credit line gets increased, and they just go on a spending spree. But we are at a time of year when our young people are going off to college. People are changing their lifestyles because they have kids that are leaving the nest per se. So they either need more money or thinking they need less money. But I think it's always good to talk about what's going on in the economy. And of course, we just finished the first quarter of 2025. And I was doing some research, and according to Forbes, spending in the United States was down. And that was the first time that spending has been down in the first quarter of the year in 2 years. Now,
Wow.
Yep, that's something. And then the forecasters say, oh, but we're going to get job increases. Wages are going to increase, so spending is going to go up. Now, that's what the forecasters say. But how comfortable are you with that information based on what we've been hearing about taxes and tariffs and people getting laid off? Do you think there's going to be more employment and more increases in salary? Sometimes you got to think about things like that. What do you think, Brittany?
Yeah, I would say it depends on what kind of jobs are available because most of them are not paying a livable wage. So a lot of companies, especially fast food places, have continual need for employees because they're not paying enough money. And I think a lot of people are reaching the point where they don't want to work 2 and 3 jobs to survive.
All right. Yeah,
I
so
don't.
it's going
I'm tired already.
to, yeah, I know. It's going to take some changes on our parts if we have not, if we're not making tons of money or we're used to working one, having income on one level and it goes down tremendously, or if expenses goes up, then you have to figure out some ways that you can be creative or get those costs down. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And some of the things that I found when I was, of course, researching was that you can use coupons, you can shop at different supermarkets, you can use a shopping list so you don't impulse shopping when you go in the store. Take advantage of buy one, get one free, shop your auto insurance, make your coffee at home, take your lunch to work. A lot of people, they get into a certain level at work, like in management, and they think, oh, you shouldn't take lunch. Hey, I don't believe in that one. Take advantage of free activities and events. Avoid using credit cards. Purchase used textbooks, kids. I know you want to go out there and you want to get those textbooks that are new, and sometimes you get used textbooks and they got highlighting in them. But I don't know. When I was taking my last course, someone had stated that their son was a student and he loved to get used books because they had already highlighted the important stuff. He didn't have to do it. So,
Yep.
yeah, those used textbooks come in handy, and most times they're not that bad. They really aren't.
Free study prep.
Yeah, cut back on eating out. So we're going to talk about some of these. Of course, we cannot talk about all of them today, but we do want to mention some of these that can assist you in doing a little bit better. Okay. And the first one I'm going to take, and that's making coffee at home. Now, I know some people say that they cannot live without their Starbucks. They just have to have their Starbucks. But you can buy the pods and still get your Starbucks. Dunkin' Donuts. A lot of people like Dunkin's coffee. They have the pods for that. So when you are going out and purchasing coffee every day, even people that work from home, they're going to leave home. So you're just spending gas, wear and tear on your car to make that trip to purchase that coffee because you feel like that's just something you have to do. And the price of coffee just continues to go up when you purchasing it from, a company or whatever. And not only is it costly, but now you get to the window and you got a jar sitting there talking about tip me. So you go pay $5, $6, $7 or more for a cup of coffee. You might have to tip. If you work from home, you're spending gas money. When you can buy a coffee or tea that you like, you can use a regular coffee maker, or you can use one of the systems like the Keurig machine with your pods. Get it tasty, just perfect, like you want it every single day, and it will save you money. Just think about that. If you're spending anywhere from $5, $6 or more per day, and some people drink more than one cup of coffee. One a day is fine for me, but I know some people drink 2, 3 cups of coffee a day. So are you going out there spending those types of bucks every time you want coffee? You can take that money that you were spending for coffee. You might have a savings of $100, $200 or more a month. You can take that and apply it to your high credit card bills. You can save it for emergencies. You can save for a vacation. There's a lot that you can do with that money, but just think about it. Do I just have to have the name brand coffee, or can I make it at home and save money? And I'm not going to lunches today, but same concept with lunch. You know how your food's going to taste. You don't have to go out. It might be a day that it's raining and all this good stuff. You can stay inside, have your own lunch. So I think those type things are very, very helpful.
That is true. And that ties into my point to talk about, which is to cut back on eating out. I think that we are a society who thrives on how easy can we get something, and sometimes we're tired. It's been a long work day. We don't want to go home and cook, so we just grab something on the way, or we go to a restaurant, we sit down, we feel like we need to treat ourselves for swapping over the laundry today. So we go out to eat, but let's be honest. If you go out to eat, you don't eat all of your food. How often are you actually eating your leftovers when you take it home? So not only are you spending the amount of money for your family to feed yourself or your family, both, you're spending enough money that could feed your whole family dinners at home for a week. You're bringing home food that you didn't eat that you're not going to eat at home anyway.
Right.
And there are so many ways. I have found so many ways that you can cook your food at home and have fun. You can cook with your kids. A lot of kids like to be involved in helping you cook. They just like to help because they feel like they're doing something for you, and it makes them feel good because they know how to do something. Or if you're single, you could have hangouts with your friends and do a potluck kind of hangout where everybody makes a dish, and then you are saving money that way because you're just making one dish to share with your friends. You can go on to Pinterest and find a variety of different meals that you can make. I personally like to meal prep on Sundays, and I make enough food to eat for, well, actually, I make several different meals that I can mix and match and pull out of the freezer to cook, because some days I have my son and some days I don't. Some days he'll eat what I'm eating, some days he won't. And I think you just have to get creative and find a motivation to, like, pick a vacation you want to take. How much money do you need to save for your vacation? How much of that could you save by eating at home?
Yep. Well, yes, all those are great, great ideas. And I love the concept of the food prep. I know Jocelyn is on here. Excuse me. Hi, Jocelyn. And she's a big advocate of the food prep. And I haven't done it in a while. When I was on this special diet, I did. And I mean, it was so convenient because you didn't have to think about what am I going to eat today, because I had several choices, go in there and pick something. And I know it was the right amount and all this good stuff. And like, you're right. You bring food home and you may or may not eat it. And food is expensive. I know my husband and I, we just went out to a dinner. And even though we had gift cards, but still, when you look at the prices, it's like, oh my goodness. You could have took that amount of money and probably bought grocery for at least a week. It's very, very expensive. So it can be a big saver.
Yes, it adds up. You don't think it adds up? Just like you were saying, drink your coffee at home. If you calculated what your favorite coffee was at Starbucks or wherever your favorite coffee shop is, and you went there 5 days a week, How much money are you spending?
Yep. A lot.
When you could spend less that to buy the supplies to make it at home.
Yep. And like I say, I love it because I know it's always going to be right. It's going to be how I like it because I fixed it.
Yep.
Yes. And if you just joined us, our topic today is M.O.N.E.Y. And we're talking about, you know, how many people overspend, and we need to get within the trends and make sure that, before we get out there and being extravagant and spending a lot of money that we don't really have, that we are making wise choices and saving money for making sure that we have those savings, those emergency savings, and however we can cut back. So we've already talked about making our coffee or tea at home and cutting back on eating out. And Jocelyn Deacon Holmes, we are going to our third one, which is avoid using those credit cards. Now you're talking about it's called savings. And it's so funny, like Brittany said earlier about we like conveniences, and who doesn't want to just pull out the plastic? Just pull out the plastic. But when you pull out the plastic, you are most likely paying a high interest rate. You have an annual fee. If you're making minimum payments, you get yourself into I won't say everybody does, but you can get yourself into a bad place, because if you spend those credit cards and you pay, if say you get one and you start paying and you're paying on time, well, they like that. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to increase your limit. And you're going to say, oh, wow, I got more. So you're going to spend some more. And then you might get another one. So then you're doing the same thing. And you get that credit card statement. Woo, that's not much, because what? Guess what? They're smart. They're in the business of making money. They are going to put on that bill that all you need to pay them that month is the minimum amount due. So you could have spent $600-700, and they'll say you don't have to pay you will only have to pay $25. Well, what's happening with that other $600+? It's gaining interest. You see those high interest rates. A lot of times you go get credit cards and you don't even look at what the interest rates are on them. And you can get a card that has 29% interest, sometimes more. And those things add up. And then again, when you are only making that minimum payment, where people get in trouble, that's what they do. And they get another one, and then it's like that's all they do is use plastic. So then they get to this point where, hey, I don't have any money. If I don't use a credit card, then I can't buy anything. Then you are really, really in trouble. So if you found yourself in this spot, you really need to sit down, do some research, and find out how you can get yourself out of that. And you can. I don't think it's hard, but it's not easy, and you will have to make it a habit of something that you do. But just really, really quickly, because we're not here to give you ways to get out of it. But one quick thing I know is, it's not quick. Again, it's not quick. But, if you find yourself and you have all these credit cards, all this debt, is take the one that, if I remember correctly, the one that you owe the most on. Find out, okay, the rest of them I won't pay the minimum, but is there any extra money anywhere that I can pay the minimum plus something? So say you pay the minimum plus 20, and you continue to do that until you pay that one off. Don't use it, but you pay it off. Once you get that paid off, then you have what you were paying on that one, plus the minimum that you were paying on that next one. So now you got more that you're paying on that next one until you get them all paid down. And it might take you a while depending on how much you have, but getting away from those credit cards is a good thing, because what they're going to do is they're going to give you that temptation to overspend. They impact your credit score, even And I think it was like last year I fell for this one. It's like, oh, don't you want to get a credit card? No. Oh, but if you get this credit card today, you're going to get, what was it? It was this large amount of money off what I was buying that day, and blase, blase, blase. And then it's like I did it, but it was like, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. I should have just, I went in there, I had the money. Why did I not just pay for it? Because sometimes they make it sound like if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to process what they're saying, they make it sound good and you do it, but it's not really. So if you have the money, don't fall for those little quick things because nothing in the world is free. Um, and I know everyone needs at least one credit card, a debit card, because if you are making reservations for a rental car or a hotel room or something of that nature, you're going to need a credit card. But have that one. Find one that either is going to give you cash back or it has a low interest rate on it. And if you have to find yourself and you just have to use it, pay the full amount back when you get that bill. Just because they say minimum payment, that does not mean that's all you have to pay or you can pay. Pay the entire balance. So you want to do some of those things that will help you to not find yourself in a bad place because those credit cards, they sound good. You can get what you want. Nothing, no questions asked, you just spending, but again, you can end up with a bad credit score, bad credit, having to rob Peter to pay Paul, and you don't want to get into those type situations. So be very, very careful with credit cards.
Yes, I got in a bad situation with a credit card several years ago, and since then I have called it quits. I'm not getting a credit card.
Yay! Good job. Yeah, it's good.
Well, that is a good segue into the next topic, which is take advantage of free events and activities. And that is actually one of my favorite things to do with my son, because if you think it sounds nice to plan these extravagant events to take your kids to, but when you get there, they're interested in the most simple aspect and they want nothing to do with all the things that you really brought them there for. I can't count the number of birthday parties that I've planned. Well, I can. There's been 4. And he wants nothing to do with his friends. He wants to go and play with one singular thing that's at the party. And that's it. Like it's a hassle to get him to sit down with cake, to eat cake. And it's the same with like planning these big events to take him to. Like I could take him to we have a Cook's Museum. I could take him to the museum or Early Works, or even if I took him, out to dinner. He wants nothing to do with the food. He wants to watch my phone, or he fixates on one little thing, and I've spent all this money for him to not even enjoy it. And then I'm stressed and not enjoying it because I'm trying to get him to have fun. But one of the things that he loves the most is there's a greenway nearby. It's totally free to use. It's got like a 3-mile walking path. We can go walk, and then he can go play in the playground. That's like his favorite activity, and it's totally free, minus the cost of driving there, but it's nearby, so we're not really spending money on that. But there are so many, even museums and things like our local Early Works and the local big spring park. There are so many free events. We have an amphitheater in town, and for Halloween, they do this gigantic free Halloween event where different businesses set up their booths and they go through, and you can go through and the kids get candy. There are Facebook groups you can join for your local area. There are radio stations, TV stations that all advertise free events that you can get involved with and take your kids to. And they don't have to know whether it costs money or not. They just know we're going to do something fun and new and exciting. And they love it because they're getting to go do something fun, new and exciting.
Yep, sounds good. They love it. Yeah, so, different cities have different things. So that's something that you can research and go out. outside music. Some cities have like little parks, and they may have someone out playing. Uh, a little small trio band playing soft jazz or something. So there's always something that you can find that's free. So it's not like, woe is me, I can't do anything. But it's good to find ways to save when you can, because you never know when you're going to really need that savings over there, or that emergency fund. So it's good to have it. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly. One of our favorite things is we have a local park, and when it's warm, like the late spring and through the summer, they do a free movies in the park on Mondays, and they put up a giant screen, and you bring your chairs or your blankets, and you sit in the grass and you watch a movie. And sometimes they have food trucks, but we usually bring our food and snacks and sit and watch a movie, or I watch the movie and he runs around and plays.
Yeah, that's good. I love it. Yeah, so I hope that these tips helped you. If this is something that you can share with someone, that it may help them. And Brittany and I are not CPAs, we're not financial coaches, but these are just some of the things that we know that will assist you with those little money things that'll help you to save. So if you find that you are really in a crunch, that you find yourself in a bad place, it's okay. Been there, done that. It's nothing to be ashamed of or try to hide, but you do need to get help. So if you can't find free help in the city where you live, because sometimes they do have free workshops or people that will volunteer to assist and do little workshops to help you. There are financial mentors, there are financial coaches, financial advisors. So I do suggest that you do look into getting someone to assist you. And you might say, "Well, I can't afford that, but I'm really in a bad place." But like, I don't know a lot of things, but I do know some things. I've gone through. Who is it? Is it Dave Ramsey's? He has the financial peace like workshop. I've been through that. So there are some tips that I know. Anything I know, I'm glad to share. But you know where you are, where you find yourself, and what type help that you need. So I would just advise you not to, put your head in the sand and think it'll go away, because it won't. It'll get worse. So find someone to assist you.
I would definitely agree with that. I'm not a financial expert, but there are people that you could pay and that could help you for free. It just depends on your area.
Yep. So we thank you so much for tuning in. And again, I think that this is information that is beneficial and that can help you if you find yourself, in a difficult place, or you're not in a financial place that, you might be okay. But if you're not where you want to be and you want some tips, you do a little research or find someone to assist you. And hey, it can't hurt. It would definitely help. But as we mentioned earlier, uh, you got you can shop different stores, watch the sales, follow the buy one get one free, and things like that. Uh, the free activities that you can enjoy, and that I mean, I really love the movie idea, because that would be just neat, to be able to sit out and have the advantage of a free movie, just relax.
It is so much fun. We love it.
Yeah, very, very good. So please, please, please share this, and thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope to see you Tuesday on Blueprint for Success. And our guest is going to be Tamara and Antonio from Dallas, Texas. And I'm super excited to hear what we will have a discussion on. She is a advocate for caregivers, and she has a lot of information. So please tune in, and that's at 6:30. Excuse me, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 Central, and that will be Tuesday, the 8th. So again, thank you all so much. Thank you, Brittany. Look forward to it
Thank
next
you.
month. All right. So y'all take care and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Bye bye.